Welcome to Toronto. This is your day 2 in Toronto, I believe?
Yes.
Yes. So, I guess first off, I actually want to go back. When did you know you wanted to be a singer? Like, at what point did you wake up and go, you know, this is a career for me?
I mean, basically last week when I got my publishing check through. So, you know, that's what. I wanted to be a singer since I was about 15. And from like 9 years old, I knew that I was going to be a performer. I just, I suppose I hadn't figured out whether I wanted to act or whether I wanted to sing or dance.
And what was there inspiration, or did you just, you want to do it?
There wasn't really inspiration. I think when you are an artist and you want to kind of create a world for people in order to, you know, voice your own opinions or feelings, you don't think of anything like that. It's almost like you have to do it, or that you have to do it because that's the only way that you feel stable. And though it sounds a bit erratic and weird to say that, I think writing really helped to stabilise me. Yeah, and yeah, I never really saw it as like, I want to do this to make money. It was that I really couldn't imagine myself ever doing anything different.
And it seems too like you're really pushing yourself. A lot of what I've read about you and seen from your interviews, you really want this, I'll call it world domination. Is that true? Is that fair to say?
I mean, I want to be one of the biggest artists in the world, but I don't care about world domination or about having control or like being the most popular, because it's so fleeting anyway, that kind of thing. But I do want to be, you know, a really big artist, and part of that is because I really like performing to a lot of people, and the kind of shows that I like to put on require a lot of production. So it's almost like with this album, the music has almost followed that desire.
Right.
Therefore, like creating kind of a bigger sound. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, well, to start with, it seems like you've already made quite a mark in your home country. I mean, around Europe. I mean, I guess what's your strategy for North America? Not strategy, but I mean, what do you want to bring to North America in terms of your style and your sound?
I don't really care about bringing anything. I'm really happy that people are coming to my shows and that I'm selling out places that I never did on the first album, and pretty quickly as well. So that to me is evident that people understand it and have understood where I'm coming from very swiftly, which is really pleasing. I'm just having such a great time over here. The past tour that I've just done on my own, it's been the best tour I've ever done in my life.
That's amazing. Well, it seems like the album, certainly you worked with some amazing producers and people behind the actual production of the album. How did that all come together? Were there a lot of people you hunted down?
Well, no. So far in my life, I've been lucky enough to not have to really search for people. I've always kind of just, in between people kind of ringing my label and requesting or like voicing an interest in working with me, I've always just worked on my own and written songs alone. But Greg Kirsten I'd worked with before on the first album, Liam Howe also, and then Rick Knowles had kind of emailed a few times to my label on the first album and just said that he was a fan of my work. And then I kind of, at the time I was like, oh, I don't really want to work with anyone. And then I started to research him a few months later, and I thought, oh, he's going to be perfect. Because he'd done like Licky Lee, but he'd also done Madonna's Power of Goodbye. Lots of kind of classic artists, but also artists who were pop. And that really fit my, frame of mind. And then Dr. Luke, I met him through my A&R in New York. So.
It's amazing. I mean, looking at the kind of talent you have behind you, it seems you've got a good leg up going into, the rest of the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of makes me cringe a bit, because I hate this thing of like, people see the credits and they're like, oh my god, there's so much behind this album, like, as if just by working with them I'm going to succeed, but it's not like that at all. I'm an artist who, you know, works on my own for much of my first album, and the whole idea of Electra Heart, musically at least, was taking that pop model, that kind of pop star model, and applying it to my own, you know, my own background.
Right. And in terms of writing, where did the songs come from? You know, there's some darker stuff in there. What would you say a lot of those songs came from?
Being depressed, being in love with someone who didn't love me. That's about it. Life, feeling like my life was passing me by, feeling like I hadn't, you know, had the freedom to live or enjoy my youth or my teenage years in a carefree way due to, you know, certain things that happened to me. So it was kind of those three things that really built the whole album up.
Right. And I mean, it does seem like a lot of big songs around the world tend to stem from darker stories, I guess. Do you think it's easier to write? I guess easy isn't the right word, but do you think that inspiration comes, more from there than happier side of things?
Yeah, definitely. Artists are terminally dissatisfied human beings, and we all fear of becoming happy because then your artistic energy kind of stops in a way.
Right.
But there was something that who was it? I don't know if it was Bruce Springsteen or someone else, but you know, a very classic songwriter once said that it is a lot harder to write a happier song than a sad one, and that should fuel you to, you know, keep on being a better songwriter and not worry that just because your life doesn't have trauma or like drama in it, you can't write anymore. So, but you know, trauma and drama tends to follow artists around because to be an artist you have to have a skewed personality, I think.
Right.
To have to want to put yourself, you know, into that kind of profession.
Right. Well, I guess the last question I had was what kind of comes next for you? I mean, obviously there's still a lot to go in terms of pushing.
There's a lot to do because I mean it's doing well, but you know, I'm still very much unknown in America and Canada as well. I think I'm more unknown in Canada in some respects just because Prima Donna has started to be worked on American radio. It's you know, I think it's like in the top 50 on the airplay, whereas Canada I think is just starting now. So I'm really excited about everything, and it seems to be really going as I hoped. So who knows though, you know.
Well, we can't wait to see more.
Thank you.
So thank you very much.